All right, today we'll learn about the table that had the bread on it. Shulchan lechem hapanim, the face bread table. Face bread table. Why was it called face bread? Because it was shaped like the bread was shaped with a lot of faces. It had it was sort of like almost like an O, but the two ends were open, and the top was like split. But it was shaped like an O, so it had all these faces to it, like a U sort of. It had two. So here we'll have a picture. So I'll show you. So first of all, let's see. Maybe we can find a picture of what this bread looked like. This is the table, right? There's all these different interpretations of what it was, but when the Kohen would go into the room where there was the holies, it was the holy room before the Holy of Holies. So there was this table. It was on his right was this table. There were three things in that room. There was a small golden altar, which was in the middle, sort of like it more toward the front. That was for the incense. We'll talk about that next week, in the end of next week's Torah portion. And then there was on the left side, on his left, was the menorah. And to his right was this strange table. A strange looking table that had poles on. It was made of wood, but it was coated with gold. And it had 12 loaves of bread on it. In each one of these shelves over here, there was one loaf of bread, so there was 12 of them. And that was over on the right side. Here you see all these sort of different versions of what it was. Here's a sort of a picture, let's see if we can get it here, of what the bread itself looked like. Here, a little bit we can see. See, it looks like this. Like that. See, it's sort of round. In the middle, it was split. Let's see if I can find a better picture. I found one before. Hopefully I found it now. Oh, see, here's something like the bread. Bread looked like this. See, they had a thing like this. That's how it looked. Each loaf looked like this. Very strange looking bread. Why God wanted him to do it, that I don't know. Here's this person's version of what it looked like to cook. They were baking the bread. And there was 12 loaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would sit there the whole week, and on Shabbat they would take it and replace it, and they would eat the bread. Do we have an example? You see all these very strange and unsuccessful examples of what the bread used to look like. Let's see. All right, here. See, here's sort of a nice picture. See, this is what the bread looked like. Each loaf of bread looked like this. I haven't really another picture that says that this was like a V. Over here was shaped like a V. All right, so let's go here. Here we see this is a picture of what the ark looked. This is what we learned yesterday. The ark with the Keruvim on it. See, it's not so accurate because the wings used to be up. It says the wings used to be up here. Okay, that's what we learned about yesterday. And today we're learning about the Shulchan Lechem Hapanim, the table that had the face bread. So let's look at the sentences and see if we can coordinate between the sentences and the pictures. Vasita shulchan, you should make a table. Atze shitim, from the shitim wood, 2.5 amas wide. Here it says long, 1 amma wide, and an amma and a half high. Right, so there's 2.5 by 1 by 1.5, 1.5 high. Let's see if we can look at this picture and see if we can get this, just the table, this part here, right? table is supposed to be 2.5. That's what we said. 2 by 1 by 1.5. Is this right? No, I don't think so. Let's have a look. There's to be two amos. I'm sorry, amotayim, 2 long, 1 wide, and 1.5 high. Okay, so in other words, like this. This table has to be 2 long, like this, 2. It should be 1 wide, like this from here to here. 1.5 wide, and 1 tall. 1. It's supposed to be 1. This is 1.5, and this is supposed to be 2. But just this table. We're not talking about the things on the top of it. Things on the top of it, we're going to learn about that in a moment. But cipito, you have to coat it with gold, pure gold, and you have to make a rim, like a crown of gold around it. 1 minute. You can't hear me. Can you hear me now? 1 second. 1 minute. Turn it on. Should be able to hear me. Can you not hear me? Still not? Can't hear? Huh? No, don't hear? Can hear. Good. Okay. We can. Yes. Good. Wonderful. Okay. Then we can continue. Okay. So you have to take this table and they coat this table we're talking about here. It's 1 amma high, 1.5 like this, and 2 like this. You have to coat the whole thing with gold. And you have to make a crown like all the way around it. What is this crown? It's this. Let's see, can we see? Can we get a picture of this crown? I don't know if we can. I don't remember seeing one here. Here we see how the imagination. Anyway, there is around the top of it a crown. Here's like a crown like this, but even though this table is totally not accurate. Anyway, there's a rim around it. It's a rim like this. Goes all the way around the top. You can't see it around this table. Then next step. Vasitalo misgiret. Then you have to make the whole thing go. You have to make like a lip that goes up 1 tefach, and then there has to be another zer zahav. Has to be another rim of like what is that? Like a crown around it. Some people say that this was above on the top of the table, and some people say that this was below. So let's see if we can see from the pictures over here. I don't think we can because none of the pictures over here are sufficiently large. Anyway, some people say that this rim was here around the top, an additional rim. We already have one. And some people say that the second rim was around the bottom here, another rim. So they would look very beautiful and stately. Then you have to make 4 rings, golden rings, and attach these rings to the 4 corners, which are on the 4 feet. That is here. Not a good picture. Okay. 4 feet. Let's see if we can. Here's a better picture. maybe here. See, here you have 4 rings. There's supposed to be 1 ring here, a ring here, a ring there, a ring there. This is to put the poles through the rings. See, everybody has a sort of different interpretation of how the picture is supposed to look, but that's what the 4 rings are all about. Then opposite this, there should be these rings in order to hold the badim, in order to hold the staves that they put in there to carry the table when they would carry it in the desert. See here. And so this was like on the same opposite, this crown, this sort of rim, the decorational rim that was around the bottom. They'd put these rings here, the rings 1, 2, 3, and also in the other corner up there. And then they would put the staves through it so that they could carry it. Of course, the whole tabernacle was portable. So when they would carry it in the desert. Now you have to make these staves, these poles, which are made of atishitim. You have to coat them also with gold so that you'll be able to put them into these rings and carry the table. Now you have to make these things that'll hold the bread. They're called karotov, kapiotov, kasotov, or menakiotov. What are these things? Let's just take a quick look. What he's talking about are these. These are the karotov, kapotov, menakiotov. We'll see. We'll go through each and every one of them individually. But that in general, what it is. Not very descriptive pictures over here, but okay, we'll see. Here we have these plates that hold the bread, and then there's sticks, these long sticks that hold these plates up, right? All the ways up, and then there's going to be staves that go also the full length, and that's going to hold up also these plates upon which the bread rests. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at the sentence. Vasito karotov, you have to make the karot, the kapot, kasot, and the menakiot. What are these things? What are these? So Rashi explains. You have to make the kapot. These are karotov. These is like the mold, the plates that were made exactly in the shape of the bread, and the bread was made like sort of like a chest that. Like a box. The 2 of the sides were taken off, and the bottom is there, and then it's doubled over on the top, and like 2 walls. And that's why it's called lechem apanim. Remember, that's the picture we saw. This is the lechem apanim. We had the picture over here. Where is the picture? This. Yeah, there was a better picture. This. Says it was like a box, but these 2 walls were taken out, one and this were taken out. It's empty, and it was pushed up and doubled over. See, it went around on the top. Okay, so they would bake it in these molds, in these forms from gold and from metal, from iron. The iron ones, you would cook them in the iron ones. And then when you take it out of the oven, they would put it into the golden ones in order to display it until the next day on Shabbat, and then they would put it into the they would put the whole entire thing into these poles that were standing up, and that would make the lechem apanim. So let's have a small look at the picture here. See, it would be like this. Let's get it up here. See, these plates would hold the bread in them. They would bake the bread in iron, metal, but then they would put it into golden plates. These golden plates were already waiting for the bread. They would take the bread and bring it to this table and take out the old bread with the old gold plates that the old bread was in. Once a week, they would take it out. They would put the new plates in with the new gold, with the plates, the golden plates with the bread in it, and there it would rest for the whole rest of the week. That's the karotov. Ka'arotov. What's the kapotov? The kapotov are bizichim. These are like poles that they were like split down all the way down the middle. And on this, I'm sorry. Here it says the karot, that's like I told you, right? The karot, right. The kapot, these were not, that's the kasota. We'll see that. The kapot, these were like cups, and they would put in this, the incense, lavona. There were two of them, and they would put the two handfuls of lavona, of this incense, they would put on every week, like it says in the Tata Merechas, lavona zaka. Now, where is this exactly in the picture? I don't think it is any of these pictures, but there's supposed to be here. There's supposed to be the two cups where they put this incense in here. Here it says bizche lavona. This is the cups that they put lavona in. But the fact is that it had to be somewhere attached over here to the altar because it would be there also. All right. Then there were the kasotav. Kasotav, these are like these split poles. One second, we have a note over here. No. This was a special bread. This was not the bread for the regular people that would eat. This is special bread that had to be made in a special weird shape. Even back then, the regular normal people did not make their bread in this way. This was specially made bread for the Holy Temple. It was made in this form because God wanted it to be made this way. Why exactly it had to be in this strange U-shaped form, I don't know. I never read anything about it. I have no idea, but this was certainly not the regular challah that they made. And I would imagine that they made it back then like they make it now. They make the regular, challah that they eat. Some women braid it together. The reason that they braid it also is that it should look different. It should look different. And usually there's another reason also, and that bread, usually Shabbos bread is on the table, there's meat. And you're not allowed to make bread that has meat in it or milk, unless you make the bread either in a different shape, a weird shape that you know for sure what this is. The same thing with milk, right? You're not supposed to, you have to make it into a strange different shape that you know that the bread was made with milk or that it touched milk, or the same thing with meat. Or there's another way you can do it if you make just a small amount of bread that's going to be eaten just in that meal. And here it certainly is not. So that's why nowadays we make the bread. That's one of the reasons they make the bread in this unusual form, like braiding it together. But this is totally different. This bread was made. Also, you should know that this bread that was used in the Holy Temple in the face bread. And in fact, all the other bread offerings that they brought, with one exception, well, actually two exceptions, they were all matzah. Was forbidden to bring any chametz into the Holy Temple. It was forbidden to bring. Called so'or v'chol davash lo takrivu. This was forbidden to bring any leavened bread that rose up into the Holy Temple. The only two exceptions were the 2 loaves of bread that they brought on the holiday of Shavuot, holiday of the giving of the Torah, and 10 of the 40 loaves that were brought in the Thanksgiving offering. That's the only one. So these also, it was matzah, but it was thick. You'll see, it was one whatever is thick, a hand breadth thick, 4 finger breadths. Anyway, so then now there were these metal staves that were used to hold these things together. See, you can't see it over here. Is there a picture of? See here? There's these 3 holes. This represents these poles, which were like half. They were cut in half, so they would hold these plates that the bread was on. And then there are kasotov and the menakiotov. What is menakiotov? These are long foundations that stand on the ground, and they go from the bottom to the top of the table. So it's these things. Let's see if we can find out here. He didn't even make the picture. It's like these. See, here there's big long poles that hold up all of these. They hold them all up. Is there another picture like that? Here, see, this is maybe a little bit better. One long pole that goes right from the table and it holds up all, right? So here's one pole here, one pole on the other side, one here, one on the other side. And that is what is called the menakiotov. That's what he calls it. And you have to put on this table lechem panim, this face bread, before me constantly. What does it mean constantly? It means sheyesh lo panim, bread that has faces, like I explained. We explained it before, like the picture that I saw you. And how do you know minayan halechem v'seder hamarachas? Where do you know it from? It's going to be explained later on in Parshat Emor. Later on in the middle of the book of Leviticus, it's explained in actually how you make this and how you take it off. You know, b'yom Shabbat, it says you take this bread off and you eat it. Okay, next, we have time. So we've talked about the ark, that's in the Holy of Holies, that we talked about yesterday. We talked about the bread table, and it says that the sustenance of the whole world came from this bread table. All right, now we're going to make the menorah. The menorah also is very strange because somehow or other, everybody got this idea that the menorah was round, which there's absolutely no opinion in Judaism that it was round. The Lubavitcher Rebbe pointed this out. Absolutely none. According to all the main opinions, which is the Rambam and Rashi, it was straight. The arms of the menorah were straight. They came out on a diagonally. They were straight. There's one opinion. There is the opinion of the what is it? The Ibn Ezra, but he doesn't. They're rounded, but they're rounded in sort of like a circular way. They're round like this. They go up. This is in the shape of the stars going around. Okay. Here's a picture of the menorah. Let's see if we can get an accurate picture of what it looked like, the menorah. Here, let's go. Here, see, all these pictures are not correct. See, everybody has these pictures. I don't know why. The reason they insist on doing it is because this is the shape of the menorah, which was on the gate of Titus. They have a picture of the Victory Gate, which shows them carrying this thing. Will there be a real, true picture? Well, we'll see. Somebody has to get it right. Someone has to get it right. Wow. Okay. Interestingly enough, and they wrote letters to justify this, that this is the way Jews have been doing it since the temple, which is not true. This maybe has been the last 100 years that Jews have been making menorahs like this for Hanukkah. Usually what Jews used to use for Hanukkah is just like a plate that was doubled over like a L, and then they would put the cups on the bottom part of the plate. There was this, and then they would usually make some sort of a design. So I guess we're not going to get it on here, huh? So go back. We could see. Interesting. Will we get an accurate picture? I don't know. Interesting. Here we go. There's a picture. This is what it looked like. 7. Oh, this is probably a Chabad publishment, maybe. Yeah, Menachem Reinitz, yeah. Very good. Anyway, that's what it looked like. Okay, now let's see if we can get a little accurate picture. Before I was looking for pictures and I found it. Let's see if we can do another one, because there were all these ornaments also that were on and this was according to deep Kabbalistic principles, which maybe we're going to have to learn this tomorrow, because there's some very interesting explanations here. Will we be lucky here? No, not. See, this is the picture of on the wall of Titus, which Titus is not a reliable biblical opinion. He's not one of the rabbis. We do not rely on his opinion. Okay, what can we do? I saw it before. Here we go. This is the Rambam's picture, how it looked. Here's the picture of who? This is the Rambam's picture. This is the Rambam draws, and his son said this is accurate. This is what he wanted. And Rashi explains pretty much the same thing. We're going to see Rashi in just one moment. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. All right, Asita Menorah Zahav. You have to make a menorah from gold, tahor, pure gold. Miksha te'aseh, a menorah. It has to be one piece. One piece. Why doesn't it do it? Huh? You don't see this? No one sees what I'm seeing? Could be. Could be. Let's go back here. Stop share. There we go. There it is. I hope you see it now. Yes. Oh. So let's have a look at what Rashi says. Asita Menorah Zahav Tahora. Make it one piece. And Yuricha, its base, and the sticks that are coming out of Gavim, Kaftorim, Prochim, Mimenu Yiyu, and all these ornaments are going to be on it. Ornaments that are like cups, that are like buttons, and that are like flowers are going to come out from it. So you can see. There it is. There. See, you can see these little ornaments here that are on it. The Rambam just drew it in sort of an exaggerated way, not symmetrical, just to show that there are such things here, but really it looked like this. Maybe we can get a better picture next time. I have to look. I did find it with all the multitude of pictures that sort of slipped away from us, but here it is. That's the way it looked. The temple, something like this. But there were buttons, there were cups, and there were flowers. Where is that? Flowers here. These are the cups, and these are the flowers. These half circles, and these are the buttons of the full circles, and the triangles. That's the cups. And the Rebbe asks why the cups upside down. He has a beautiful explanation about that. So the Rashi explains, Miksha. Yeah, that's what he says. Shalo yaseh chulios. You shouldn't make like pieces. and don't make like its staffs and its candles by limbs, and then afterwards stick them all together like by means of welding or something. No, it all has to be one big piece. And you have to hit the gold until it all comes out to be one big piece. You have to be a tremendous expert to do that. And then you have to separate the staffs one from one the other. It says miksha, that's what it means. Miksha means that it has to be made from one limb. Te'aseh menorah that should be made. It says te'aseh. It doesn't say you should ta'aseh. It means, which means you should make it. It means te'aseh. It should be made. Rashi says me'aleha, on its own, because Moshe had a question about this. How can I do it? And God said, just throw a big block of gold into the fire, and it'll happen on its own. Therefore, it doesn't say that Moshe made it. Rather, it said that it was made. In other words, Moshe did his part. He threw this big block of gold into the fire, and it came out like this. It says Yurechel from the bottom. This is the foot of it, which was like a little box. And Kana, this is the middle pillar that came out of it. Zakuf Kamatemala, and it was made like a bezach, right? And the gavim, these are like cups that came out of it. The kaftorim, these are like buttons that came out of it. It should come out. It should be all one thing, and they should all come out from it. Rashi says 6 arms, kanim, like 6 what do you call it? Like sticks, 6 protrusions should come out from its sides, one on one side, and so 3 of these sticks should come out from one side, and 3 of these sticks should pop out of the other side. And Rashi says they should come out lakan ba'alachsan. Here we see the Rashi says that they should come out and they should be straight. Ba'alachsan means at a slant. See, like this. This is the Rambam's picture. This is the picture from the Maimonides. And the Maimonides holds the same thing as the Rambam. They believe they should be straight. Right? Now, I'm sure that the Rambam and the Maimonides, Moshe ben Maimon and Rashi, that they were very well aware of Titus's Arch of Triumph, or what it was called, his triumphal arch with the picture of them coming back from Jerusalem with the menorah with the rounded things. I'm sure they knew about this, but there's all different opinions. Some opinions say that they just took some other menorah that was just for light in the outside court. And some people say it was just the artist's own decision. But whatever reason it is, there is no Torah support for the menorah being round, being like elliptical. That's what the word it lives in. It was straight. All right. 3 gevim. There were 3 of these cups, mishukadim, that were like mishukadim. This is what does it mean? It says mitzuyirin. They had like designs on them, mishukadim. Like it says a kli kesef azav. They make some sort of engraving and ornament on them. For the 3 that stuck out on each kind of a kaftor b'perach should be to each kind of a kana. So in other words, each one should have here a kaftor b'perach. There should be a round ornament, and there should be a half round ornament. That's how Rashi explains it. This is the perach half round. This should be totally round. That should be the kaftor. Now, why exactly God wanted to do this? There are definitely explanations what they are. God willing, I'll try to look one up and bring it to you tomorrow. Menorah arba gevim. On the menorah there were 4 meshukadim kafta refer. What does that mean? On the middle pillar, the gufashal menorah. On the middle pillar there were 4. See this one here. There were also ornaments here on the middle. Kaftor, there was a round, like a button ornament under the two kanim that it came out, and one underneath here. That means here. See, right where they're joined, there was a kaftor. When it comes out, right where they're joined over here, there was a round ornament that shows that they, in this point also. Kaftor tachat shtei kanim mimenu, kaftor tachat shtei kanim mimenu, kaftor tachat shtei kanim mimenu. For all of them, yotzim menorah. He's just explaining how in each one there is 2 kanim here underneath, right? Also as well, there have to be these also buttons that are there also. They should all be part of them. It shouldn't be an additional thing. I don't know what the menorah in the Knesset is. I think that the country of Israel has as a sign of the menorah, right? But it's not the genuine one. It's not the genuine, right? It's the menorah, like the picture on this art, the whatever is the Ark of Titus in Italy. So it's totally not accurate. The picture is not accurate, but that's okay. They also have another big one that they made. I think somebody made it in the near the Kotel, on the top, which is nice for advertising, and it's, I guess, sort of impressive, but it's not accurate. These are not accurate. The Rebbe pointed it out. He has a whole big explanation about it, where he takes all of the different opinions into account, and there's not one of the opinions that says that it's rounded. Not one. Not for anybody. Maybe there was one person, but it was very recent, and he based his thing also on this Arch of Titus, but he ignored all the others. Okay, so it says you have to make the nearest 7. There have to be 7, and you should light these candles al aver panel. That the candles, the cups should be facing the middle. Now, let's see if we have this in the picture. Here. See these cups on the top. It doesn't have this. These cups are supposed to be facing inside. Maybe let's try to see if we can find a better picture. Even though this picture that we found over here is the most accurate that we have found to date. What can we do? What can we do? We don't have any. My computer is slow. Right. Yeah, no good. Okay, let's go back. Yes. All right. All the pictures went away. All right. They have to be 7, and it says that the top cups where the light was, where the actual wicks were, they're supposed to be tilted in a little bit to indicate that the kikar zav, it should be made from 1 block of pure gold. It should be made. All of these vessels have to be made. And you should do exactly what you saw on the mountain. What does it mean? Here we see that when Moses was on Mount Sinai, that God showed him the form of all of these. Here we can learn that Moses had a question about how to make it. That God had to show it to him exactly what it was, and he showed him a menorah made from fire. You should do exactly what you saw, like it says, that you saw on the mountain. If it was mar'ah with an aleph, with a patach, then it would mean that you should show to others. right? Asher mar'ah bahar, that you were shown and you should show it to other people. Now that it says mar'eh, it means that God showed it to you. In other words, God showed you this on Mount Sinai. He's just explaining that. Right? Now here we're talking, next tomorrow, we're going to learn about, so we've learned so far about three of the main four vessels, actually 5 vessels. Okay, I'm sorry, let me give me a moment. Of the 6 vessels that were in the temple, we've learned about 3 of them. What did we learn about? We learned about the inner ark that held the tablets. We learned about the showbread table, and we learned about the menorah that's lit. That's lit. We have yet to learn about the inner altar, the golden altar, what's called the golden altar, the small inner altar, and the outer altar, the big outside altar that they offered the sacrifices on, that the Rambam says that's the main thing of the temple. We have yet to learn about those. But now we're going to learn about the curtains, about the whole entire tabernacle. If you remember, we saw a picture of that yesterday. The Mishkan in the desert. Here, see, we have a little bit of a picture over here. Let me get this thing over here. No. Here's the tabernacle, but you can't see the picture, at least in my thing. I do. Here, see, there were these curtains that went around. This is supposed to be the altar in the front, and there were curtains that went around. This we also have to learn about. So we didn't learn about the altar. We didn't learn about the inner gold. This is called the brass altar, or the copper altar, brass altar. And then where the incense was, that's the inner golden altar. We didn't learn about that either, and we will, God willing, tomorrow. But tomorrow we're going to learn more about also the building of here are these boards that were all around, the boards, and also these pictures are amazingly inaccurate. So because here it says that, see that, I guess maybe this is before they put the curtain there. Okay, and that's what we're going to learn, God willing, tomorrow, about the whole shape, the outside of the ark, all of these of the Mishkan. I'm sorry, these curtains that went around it, and then we'll learn about the altar, the outside altar, also, God willing, tomorrow. My pleasure. Have a good day with Mashiach now. See you tomorrow at 8:15 in the morning. Tell your friends. Shalom.